As I announced last weekend, there'll be a second collection today, which we rarely have. And that's to try to make up for some of the shortfall in the bishop's appeal. We are not going to make our appeal, well, nobody is. Some parishes have made it closer, just there. We're somewhat short, but not too bad. Try to put something in, please, if you can. The Beatitudes represent Jesus' fundamental teaching, kind of like his State of the Union address that the president just gave. Not as long, but are you supposed to laugh? That was a great joke for the day. But it's like his vision, but it's very challenging. My father did not raise me to go out and be poor. He didn't. And I don't like being insulted. And neither do you. And if I get insulted, I get mad, and I might fight back. The Beatitudes are not the way we are taught to live. But Jesus says that's the way to live. It's kind of like this. 7 or 8 years ago, my brother and his wife and I rarely leave this country, but we took a trip to the United States Virgin Islands. And we got on the van from the airport, and I'm sitting in the back, and in that country, and in many other countries, they drive on the other side of the road. And we drive on the right side of the road. They would drive down the road. I was like, oh my God, we're in the wrong lane, we're going to get killed. But that's where they drive. I don't understand how people who travel a lot could get used to going from one to the other. You have to, what side of my, there's like 2 separate rules for America and other countries in England and France. They drive on the wrong side of the road. There's 2 separate sets of rules. That'll help you understand the Beatitudes. There's the rules of the kingdom of God. And then there's the rules we tend to live by. Which is, it's good to go get money. Be successful. Earn. And laugh. And then Jesus says, no, blessed are those who are poor. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are those who are insulted. That's hard to hear, that there's 2 sets of rules. And it's hard to live. This is an easier talk to give to the very devout Catholic. And you guys are the very devout Catholics. The first Mass, and you're here. Because you got to go deeper to understand the Beatitude. He doesn't say, blessed is poverty. He didn't say that. He said, blessed are the poor. Poverty is a terrible thing. It is an insult to the dignity of a human being that people live in poverty without a decent house, maybe no house, without enough food. That's criminal. That's awful. Poverty is awful. He's not saying that's good. He's saying the poor are blessed. Because the name was Anonim in the Bible. The people who knew they could only rely on God. There was no government program in those days to come in and help you. It was just God will provide. And the poor person knew that. They had only God. The orphan, the widow, they had only God. And that's how we're supposed to live. That we know God will provide instead of I will provide. Listen to what the young lady read first. Cursed is the human being who trusts in himself. We should believe God will provide. And I've worked with thousands of poor people in my life. They are happier, they are more generous, and more grateful than many of us who have at least enough. We all have enough. They just are. They lead simpler. They can make the distinction between luxury and comfort. Everybody should be comfortable. Nobody should be cold. We all have coats. You don't have to live in luxury. Well, luxury once in a while, okay, that's good. But the person living in luxury can't worry about the poor because he has to pay for the luxury, you see? That's what he's saying. He's not saying it's good to be prosecuted. He's saying it's good to be persecuted. Big difference, little distinction. The person being prosecuted is on the witness stand. The person being persecuted. And this is a fine lesson to learn. When you argue with somebody about abortion, immigration, the death penalty, and our church takes positions on lots of controversy. People may push back and fight with you. That will happen. That's good. Because that means you're hitting a nerve. We criticize about other people those things we least like about ourselves. So when people are fighting back with you, it's because they know you have a point. And they don't want to admit that they're wrong on abortion. And you're hitting what they don't, so they have to fight back. See how when I have to make a fine distinction there. Notice he said, blessed are those who mourn. People who mourn with hope. Mom died, but I pray she's going to heaven. People who grieve, Big difference. Notice how it said in the second half, grieve. They have no hope. That's a tough way to watch mom die. The end. Only the deep Catholic can make those distinctions, what holiness looks like. That there's one set of rules on this side of the road and this side of the road. There's an old story about a guy who got pulled over by a cop on 81. And the cop said, "You were speeding." The guy said, "I was not. I was going 75 miles an hour. The sign said 81. He said, "That's the route number, you idiot, not that." Are we on the right road? Are we going the right direction on the road? Are we going the right speed on the road? Are we on the right lane in the road? If you're a person of prayer, and if I do my job, you ask deeper questions. With Lent coming in 2 weeks, those might be good questions to start asking. Am I on the right side of the road? The kingdom of God side or the other side? Worrying about how much I have and how good I am. Good time to ask deeper questions. Might make for a richer Lent and a poorer you, spiritually. Let us stand, my friends. We'll profess our faith.